Have you ever found yourself wondering if you should use Descript, especially when you compare it to Canva or CapCut? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why I use Descript. Canva and CapCut are definitely more professional when it comes to editing videos, but there's still a distinct reason why I choose to use Descript. And that reason is because I am not an editor. I am basically somebody who has either been in office for over 20 years, more like 30 years, and then took to flying about 8 years ago. So I'm a part-time researcher, part-time flight attendant, and I need something that's as mobile as I am. I tested Descript, Canva, and CapCut, and I found that Canva and CapCut could not fit into my lifestyle. They did not transfer from my tablet to my phone to my computer to my laptop. It was basically one or the other for editing, and that didn't work for me. Descript, on the other hand, was super easy to edit on all of my devices because it's all stored in the cloud. On top of that, while Canva and CapCut are for more advanced editors, Descript is perfect for the beginner because there's no learning curve. If you know how to edit a Word document, you can edit a video with Descript because Descript has fantastic AI that will take your video and your audio and create the best transcript that I have found out of all of the editing software that I've tried. You can actually export that transcript straight into a Word document. So if you wanted to create a book from your videos, all you'd have to do is export all of the transcripts into a Word document. It's that simple. It's that easy. But there are so many other features that you can use with Descript, again, with no learning curve, that would take you quite a while to learn with Canva and CapCut. I don't know where you're at in your editing journey, but me, I completed a 30-day YouTube challenge recently where I created 30 videos in 30 days and had to edit them, and I did not have the time to learn Canva and CapCut. But with Descript, it was super easy, and I learned a bunch of time-saving techniques that I'm going to show you in this video today. If you get Descript and you edit your videos in the order that I'm about to show you, you are going to save so much time on editing. But today, I am going to show you my best 8 time-saving tips to completely edit your videos so that they're in ready-to-post format, or you can use it to send it to an editor, or you can just take it to Canva and CapCut and glossy it up yourself. Really. Just so you know, I do start the editing for all of my videos with Gling, simply because their AI-generated editor is the best that I've seen for cutting out spaces, ums, and deleting whole paragraphs with the click of a button. So if you're interested in finding out about Gling, there's this video right here where I say how to edit 100 times faster with Gling. I do that first, and then I bring the video over to Descript, and I do exactly what I'm about. Step 1, prep the video. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and prep this video. And the way that we're going to do that is I have uploaded the file from Gling into Descript. Now, the last video that I did, I had told you how to edit 100 times faster with Gling. And the reason that I say that one was 100 times faster while this one's only 10 times faster is because that one will do hundreds and even thousands of cuts within just a couple of minutes. And you can delete whole paragraphs with just a click of the button. So it's super easy to use, and it definitely will cut down a huge portion of your time and then create one video. I also said that whenever I save the file, I save it with the word Gling in front of it. So if you look at the monitor here, you can see the word Gling is at the beginning. And then here's the name of the file. Now, I can change this now. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the Gling. I'm going to say how to edit 10x faster with Descript. That's the first part of what I'm doing. Now, since the file came over from Gling, I put all of the 10 or 20 files that I had into Gling, and I had Gling cut it down. And generally, Gling will cut about 20 to 35% of your file instantly, all of the long pauses, the ums, the retakes, and that's why it saves you so much time. I then render it into one video, and I put the one video into Descript. And part of the reason I like to do this is because since I have one video, I can click this little button over here on the left, and that's the whole file. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the video picture, and you see how it says effects here? So when I click effects, the option for this pops up. And we can start doing everything from studio sound, which will level out all of the sounds. Green screen is if you want to remove the background. You can click that. That takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do a whole video, depending on how long it is. And what I will especially do is I click the plus where the visual effects is, and I click color adjustments. Now, my cameras are not so great. I tried to buy the best camera that I could, but even when I got them, the coloring was not fantastic. And I'm not a professional photographer by any means. I actually have a couple of cameras that I bought. This one I bought to film everything that I've filmed so far. I just got this new one the other day, which is a new phone because my old phone broke. So I'm going to be recording new footage with the new phone. But when you upload it, if you've used the same camera over and over again, all of them came out exactly the same, which means you can edit the coloring instantly using filters. And that's where the color adjustment comes in. I click on this, and then I'll just play with the exposure, contrast, highlights, and so forth. Usually for me, I find that with my phone camera, which is a Motorola G5G, something like that, usually 10 on the exposure, 10 on the contrast, 20 to 40 on the highlights. Gets it all a little bit more in the color range that I would like to produce it. And with the saturation, it's like you're adding pink back in. So I usually do like a 5 to 10%, depending on how much blush I'm wearing that day. So I just did that, and it just edited everything. Boom, done. That's why I start with this. The next thing you want to do is you want to add captions. Now, they do have smart captions here, and if you click on this, you're going to see all these different types of captions that they have. The type that read off, perfect for short form. I don't necessarily like it for long form videos. I like to use my captions as heading, so I don't use that version. Instead, I come over here to the text, I highlight something that I want captions for or I want to be a heading. And when I do, you see how the little toolbar pops up? I click Add Layer, I click Captions, and it will always remember the last set of captions that you did. So the last set of captions that I did was in white, and I've centered it. Let me change this to red right now. I like dark red. That's my favorite color. You can change the size. You can change which font you like. I prefer EB Garamond out of the ones that they have. They don't have a huge selection. I usually go extra bold. Now, as you can see, there's black around it because I did that last time. Again, if you click Effects, the options for these pop over here up on the right. I can add or remove the shadow. And then where it says Style Classic, I click on that and I can take out the border right here. So now it doesn't have the border around it. Or if I want the border, I can change the color. Maybe I want white to be the border. It just depends on how you want it to pop up or not. I'm just going to go ahead and take that off for now. Now, I'm setting the captions up at the beginning. It's part of the prep the video because let's say I want them over here. It's going to place it in the exact same spot every time you add captions later. Now, the reason this is important is because of the next part, which is dropping in your favorite footage. I mentioned in another video that what you want to do is you always want to have a folder where you keep all of your stock footage, maybe your transitions, maybe there's videos you like. If you have storyboards, which a lot of content creators talk about, then any files that you took from there, you can bring over. The nice thing about Descript is they do have stock footage and stock audio that you can drop in. However, the problem is nobody's talking in the video footage. It's all silent video footage that you would put on top of your own video. So then that way your A-roll, which has your narration, comes through. Whereas if you wanted to use video footage with commentary from other people, you would want something like storyboards or videos from outside of Descript, and you would bring them in, put them into a folder. For me, I always put my little avatars in. If I've made any kind of transition page, I generally save it, again, in the same folder. These are usually where my thumbnails come in. And I would drop that in as well. You would drop all of that into files. Now, I'm going to pop my little transition screen in right now, and it drops it right on top. And it drops it wherever you've highlighted it or wherever you've put this little slash. And every time you put this backslash right here into your text, it creates a new little screen all the way over to the left. That is where the cuts are. And you want to remember that because it's going to help you with your audio at the end. Now, it does not matter if you hit enter. Let's say I want to split up the sentence right here. Now we're in Descript, period. I move the paragraph down. It does not add a new cut. So that's good to know. One of the things that I love about Descript is that it gives me a transcript. I'm a visual learner. That means I only tend to remember things if I've seen it. If I hear it, it does not matter. I'm terrible at remembering lyrics to songs because I don't always hear the words. But if I see the words, then I'm more likely to remember it. I like Descript because it is the best transcript program that I've found. The last thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to click Studio Sound. So Effects, and make sure my Studio Sound is on because that adjusts it. Now, here's the one thing you need to know about Studio Sound. If you have any really sharp sounds like the clapping of the hands, if your voice goes really high, if it goes really, really low, Descript will cut it out. That is a major headache because you can't just pick a section of the soundtrack and just say, just use Studio Sound here. You can pick a section and you can raise and decrease the volume yourself. As you can see, I have it highlighted here in blue. And then here's the audio part. Here, I can raise it or lower it to whatever volume I want. I'm going to put that at 100%. But you can't use the Studio Sound feature, which is why I like to use Gling's sound cleanup, because that'll take care of all of the weird background sounds that you might be having so that your audio is cleaner when it comes to Descript. Again, when I come here, my captions have disappeared behind this. I'm going to push this layer all the way to the back. Now I'm going to push this front layer to the back. So now you can see my transition and you can see my captions. Remember, wherever you leave your captions, that is where it is going to stay for the rest of the video. If you go down later in the video and you put captions somewhere else, for example, I want captions right here, and I say add a layer of captions, it's going to put it in exactly the same spot. If I move this back to here, and then I go to the next section and I say add captions here, it's going to go to the new spot. So one really good time saver is to go through and wherever you know your transition slides are, put all your transitions and all your captions up at the beginning. And then after that, when you start moving your captions around, it'll go in the same place every time. Step 2, cleaning up the video. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Underlord. When we click Underlord, this is where a lot of the features that Gling does, this also does. I still prefer Gling because I think Gling is faster. Here is shortened word gaps. This is the cuts, just like Gling does. If I click this, it's going to show me over here to the left that I want gaps more than half a second to be cut out. So you could say that these are gaps that Gling missed. I have 68 more cuts, which means 68 more jumps where my face might go back and forth like this. You have to decide if you want to put those in or not. A lot of people get them, so it's no big deal if you do. Right now, this video is at 33 minutes and 32 seconds. If I say shorten all of them to 0.2 seconds, I went down to 33.1. So basically, I'm losing 31 seconds of video footage, but I've gained 68 jumps where my head is going back and forth and my hands are going magically from place to place. So you have to decide, is 68 jumps worth the 30 seconds that you would save? That's why I don't necessarily use this feature in Descript, but it's up to you if you want to do it. The next thing we do to clean up the video is we're going to cut retakes. Now I do this simply because Gling will have its own understanding of what your video is, and now Descript is analyzing it with its AI, and now it's come up with 17 things that it thinks I've repeated. The nice thing about this is you can click on it, go directly to it, and see where it says it. And you can read the transcript and you can decide, okay, I want it, I don't want it. If you want to cut it out, press the check mark. If you want it, press the X. This is a great way to clean up your script even more than what you might have done when you've already gone through Gling. The next thing you can do is you can click remove filler words. These might be ums and uhs that you missed, but it could also be things like this. It thinks that I have 2 is's in, and it's not 2 is's. Let's go ahead and remove that, and let's listen to it again. It put the little line there to show me where the edit is. About that is, since I'm a writer, now see, it didn't actually cut the audio, but the script, when it brought the video in and listened to it, it thought that there were 2 is's there. And so it automatically put it into the transcript. So a lot of times if you have duplicate words like that, it's actually Descript's problem and not your problem. So you do want to listen to it before you delete stuff, but if you go ahead and you accept it, then that means that it's going to actually fix the transcript for you. Otherwise, you can just correct it yourself. Now, generally, filler words for this would be stuff like so. So I'm going to put that cut there. I don't really need so there, so I can delete that. See, the likes, the you knows, the kind ofs. You could say remove all. I listen to them one at a time, and I want to remove them as I go. And as you do, you'll see your transcript getting shorter and shorter, which is what you want by using Underlord. Step 3, read through and fix the transcript. For step 3, we're going to go ahead and we're going to read through the transcript. As I'm reading, I get to this first part. I can decide, hey, I want this to be a heading. Let's add our layer of captions. It's going to pop up. Now, let's say I don't want it to say this. First of all, it's really hard to read with the shadows. So let's click effects. Let's take the shadows off and boom, it looks like I've written on a chalkboard. The next thing is I want this to look like a heading. I don't want this to look the way that it does. So what I would do is I would highlight part of this. You don't want to highlight the whole thing because Descript is still not incredibly intelligent. It can do the basics, but the more you highlight, the more you mess things up. So it's better to take it a piece at a time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to say correct. And then instead of the word 3, I'm just going to put lesson 3. I'm going to put a semicolon and I'm going to capitalize how and hit enter. And now I'm going to take this part, use Descript to edit faster. And I'm going to remove the period. So edit faster. And as soon as I remove the period, the next word, okay, suddenly has gone small. Do I want to keep that? Do I not want to keep that? I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I don't need the so either because I did delete that. It did capitalize so. A lot of times it doesn't. So you want to make sure if you like the transcript like I do, because again, writer's brain, you want to capitalize all that stuff. And you may think, I don't really want to capitalize it. But the thing is the more you fix your transcript, the cleaner your subtitles are going to be because these are your subtitles. So make sure you clean them up. Now you can see it says lesson 3, how to use Descript to edit faster. Nice and clean. Check this out. Let's say I don't want lesson 3 in there. I still want to say lesson 3, but I don't want it to show the words lesson 3. Then what I do is I highlight this first part, how to. I hit correct and I say how to. Now that's what it shows here. You can see there's a few dots here, which means that there's sound there. that Descript no longer knows what those words are. But if I press play, lesson 3, how to use Descript to edit faster. Now, captions will only pop up when the words pop up. So you can decide, hey, for this one, do I want to actually add that in, or do I want a blank screen? If I do Control Z to undo the change that I made, let's say I want these to show up on 2 different screens. I want the first screen to say lesson 3 and the second screen to say how to use Descript to edit faster. All I have to do is put my little blinker between the colon and the how and hit enter. Let me put my blinker here before lesson. Now when I press play, lesson 3, how to use Descript to edit faster. So anytime you want a heading or a caption to go on to the next page, just put your blinker where you want it to be broken up, hit enter, and it'll move it down. That's a great way to correct words. It's also a great way to make fake heading because you can make this sentence say anything you want it to say. Let's say I want a heading on this page, but I don't want it to say now or in Descript. Let's say I just wanted to say Descript. If I hit captions over the word Descript, then it's only going to pop up for like a second. As soon as the word is said, Descript, up and gone. That's it. I don't want that. I want that for the whole sentence. So I select the whole thing, hit add layer, and now I hit text. And I hate text because text resets every single time to EB Garment, regular, 50 size, color white, and you have to change it each and every time. Luckily, your colors will always be here at the top, the last colors that you used. I'm going to say I want this in extra bold. I'm going to change this to 80. And it's very slow when you type it. Always takes a second, especially if you have something long to write. It's not easy to edit. Sometimes you have to click off of it and then come back on, which is a pain in the butt. Now you can move it wherever you want. Again, the next time I go in to add text, it's going to put it dead center, white, size 50, all of that stuff. That's why I don't like to use text. But it's a great way to add in things that you want to say while the transcript is saying something else. Step 4, adding images. Now that we're at adding images, here's where the new feature comes in. Let's say in this paragraph, I want 5 pictures. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the long footage. I'm going to put a slash where I want it to end. I want it just in this paragraph. So as long as you have the 2 slashes, you can put your blinker anywhere in there. You come over here to the right, you click stock. Let's say I want a subscribe button. I'm going to go ahead and type in subscribe. And look, here's my Giphy stickers. I'm just going to click that one. That's the one I usually click. And now it's trying to put it in. You kind of have to move your blinker over so you can see where it pops up a lot of times. And then I'm just going to resize this and place it anywhere in the video that I want. Let's say I want it there. Now, when that whole paragraph plays, it's going to stay in that same spot. Let's say I wanted to add something else, like I want a like button to pop up. Let's say I wanted to end right about here. I could put another slash in, but the problem with that is it doesn't actually cut the YouTube subscribe button. It would have been much easier if I had just put the blinker there first. What you can do is you can grab the blinker and then it stays within this sentence now instead. But I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to add a like button. I want the like button to add right about here. I'm going to put a slash in. Now the subscribe button is still there before and after the slash, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, give me a like button. Put the slash here. I want it in the second half. I'm going to hit the like button. It always takes a second. Okay, now that the slash is in, if I go back to this sentence before and I press play, you don't lose anything. See the subscribe to your lap and see how the like button is now popped up. Now I can do that again. Let's say I want right here, I want to put a slash and I want to put comments. Now keep in mind, you don't have to do this with the like and the subscribe and the comments or anything like that. It's up to you completely what you do. But as soon as you put that slash in, you're actually changing things. So if I put the leave a comment here and I suddenly decide, okay, I'm going to move this like button over here and make it smaller, but I didn't do that before the slash, then this is what happens. So let's go before that cloud from all of your devices. You can instantly move from your desktop to your laptop or to your iPad or wherever. So if your computer were to shut down for some reason, like maybe the power went out or you suddenly had to run out and you took your phone, the subscribe button is still there. It's running over and over on its loop. This is a great way to have things pop up in your videos. Each line is a cut in the video footage over here. You can see I'm getting more and more of them. If I were to go to the very last one, this is where the very last cut was. So this is a great way to add audio. Now this is where the new feature comes in. Say I hit project now. Here's all the stuff that I added before, but here's a new folder called stock media. If I press the down arrow, here's all of the stuff that I've added. So if you want to reuse the same thing over and over in your video, you now have one place under the project folder where it is. That's the newest feature that they've added. That's the simple way to add footage. Again, when you do that with the stock, every time you put it in, you've got video footage here, you've got Giphies, you've got images, Giphy stickers, and you even have backgrounds. Usually the backgrounds are moving, which is kind of nice if you want that. None of them have volume, so you don't have to worry about that. The audio stuff is here, which we will talk about at the end. Step 5, creating short form videos. This is a tip that I got from Vanessa Lau when she did her education thing on Descript. One of the things that you can do as you're reading through this is if you see something and you think, oh, this would be a good short, let's say this part right here, no idea what it is. She would actually take like a 1-minute clip out of her videos and she would do like 3 short forms, kind of advertise the long form to get people to not only subscribe, but to get them to come over to the long form, which I think is a great idea. If you're going through and you see something, you can highlight it, change it a different color. That way you can find it later. Or while it's highlighted, you press this little plus right here, or you can press this drop down arrow and you can press the new composition. They're the same thing. When you press that new composition, you've now got 2 titles up here. And you press that down arrow again, and here is the second one. So the second one literally just has whatever footage you've done in that 2 minutes. So if I had added sounds, if I had added video, if I had added anything, it would all come over with the copy. And then you could just edit this. You could take out the background by clicking the green screen. You can do whatever you want with it. And you can render it separately. Again, it tells you exactly how much time this footage is right here at the bottom. So very quick, very simple, easy way to do your own longs within Descript. Step 6, recording sounds. At this point, I'm going to assume you've gone through your whole transcript, you've edited everything, it all looks the way you want, you put in your cuts, maybe you threw in some audio here and there, maybe you did all audio. You haven't done sound, hopefully. Don't do the sound until the end if you want to save the most time. And now you've got all of these little screens to the left. That's where all your slashes are. Now this is how you do sound really, really fast. Click your stock, here's your visuals, and right next to it is audio. My favorite sound is the pop. So you put in the type of sound you like, fire, pop, whoosh, swish, kung fu, whatever. You can press the little play button to hear the sounds, and you just kind of decide what you like. So this one's the one I usually like. I just start at the top, I hit the plus sign, and then I go to the next one, and I hit the plus sign. Because usually where those cuts are is where you've added footage. Maybe you added captions, maybe you added footage. You can click on anyone and you can be like, oh, there's a picture there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the pop there. Yeah, let's do that. And you can instantly put sound throughout your entire video like that. And of course, they have music here too, but that is how you quickly and easily go through, add all your sounds like that. You don't have to think about it. You just go, what sounds do I like? And boom. One of my favorite YouTubers is Charlotte Dobre. Every time they use a cuss word, like if they use the B word, they always have a dog bark. Let's say I want this right here, the great thing, to have a bleep. Then I can literally just put that there. Let's say dog bark. And no music, but here's the sound effect. Here's a long sound effect. It's 3 seconds long, but the word is like a second. Here's another one, less than a second. I'm going to go ahead and put one of these shorter ones in. I prefer the shorter sounds just because they're easier to control. And you can see where the sounds are by the jumps. Now I click the word great. I come over here to Studio Sound. Here's my audio again. Since I've highlighted the great word in blue, I can turn it all the way down. I can hit the mute button. And now when I press play, and the good thing is you can access that class. So you can literally just bleep out the words. So if that's something you want to add, you can just search for a certain word throughout. Maybe you use the F word a lot and you want to bleep that out. You control F for find, and you would put in the F word or whatever word you're looking for to replace. That's a great, easy way to change that out with your audio. Step 7, recording straight into Descript. Let's say you want to record something like you're sitting at the computer right now, like I'm doing. I'm actually using Camtasia to record this. The reason that I'm using Camtasia instead of Descript is because as I'm recording right now, what's happening is Camtasia is also recording the audio from my computer. And Descript is not good at this. It will create 2 different audio files, but it won't line them up. So if you try to delete the crappy one, all of your text is not going to match what's being said, which is super frustrating. And if you delete the good one so that your text lines up, you get this awful kind of crackly sound as you talk, and you don't want that either. So I record with Camtasia whenever I do any desktop with audio. If you're recording your desktop without audio, for example, if I were to just be showing you this and I'm not pressing play and you're not hearing the audio, it's perfect. If I wanted to insert it right here, I would just hit enter to give myself a space on the paragraph. Here you can add a file, a video that you've already recorded. Now, if I want to record what I'm doing, I hit the word record. And over here, you can click camera only. You can click the screen in the camera. You could record with others, or you could just do audio only. You can say, of course, I want to record the computer audio too. Like I said, it does not come out good, so I always mute that. You can change your camera out if you have more than one camera. I do have 2 webcams hooked up. You can change your microphone. Basically, make your choices. Once you've done it, you would hit record. It would ask you where you want to film, and you would just highlight that part. So I only do that with Descript if I'm not going to have a lot of sound. I only do that in Descript if I'm only using one audio file, meaning it's just me talking and not the desktop. So if you're doing a reaction video, you wouldn't want to use this kind of software in order to make a reaction video. You would want to use something like Camtasia. Step 8, creating chapters and doing your finishing touches. For this last part, what I want to go ahead and talk to you about is when you're all done, You finished everything in, you got your stock footage in, you got your audio footage in. Now you either want to send it to an editor, you want to send it to CapCut, you want to publish it, whatever you want to do with it. There's several different options. If you hit publish up here, if you want it to go to your desktop, you would hit export. And then you would save the video and you could say, change all your features here. Now, generally it takes about 2 to 3 minutes for each minute of footage that you have. So if this video is 32 minutes, I'm looking at an hour to an hour and a half for it to render. However, if I were to publish this directly to YouTube, it generally takes about 30 seconds to a minute for every minute that you've rendered. So this would be about 15 minutes to upload it to YouTube. And it would be in really good condition, good quality as well. I haven't done any of these other ones, so I couldn't tell you about those. But if I did pick YouTube, you would change your title here, you put your description here, put your tag here. If you have something like vidIQ, which I do use for SEO and to help me with the titles and stuff like that, you would put the names of what it is. So let's say I like Descript, Gling, tube editing, and then I would put it as unlisted. That way you get an actual YouTube address for it. You can go in, you can add your questions, you can watch it, make sure that it rendered okay. You can hit the like button if you want to hit the like button. Then you go in and you would schedule it to be published at the time that you want it to be published at. But all of that would be already set up for you. Obviously, you'd pin your comment. As long as you put these tags in, Descript, Gling, YouTube editing, or whatever tags that it is for your video, then vidIQ will identify them and it will start to make suggestions for you about how to add its own SEO. Make sure you put that in if you want to. I find it's so much better to export it to your desktop and then upload it. The reason I say that is because anything that you've saved in your settings to automatically appear every time you upload a video will appear. It won't appear if you do it this way. So for example, if you put your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok in your custom settings and you publish it this way, yes, it'll be faster, but none of those things will be in the description box. The other thing that I do, I will export the transcript and I will export the subtitles, and they will have the exact same title as whatever this file is. That's done in like a minute and you can upload those instantly. Hopefully you have done all of your periods and your commas in the right place. The last thing that I do is the chapters. I come over here, I click add chapters. You can put any number you want, depending on how long it is. So let's say I do 20. You hit submit, and then it takes a minute or so to analyze your whole file with its AI. Now it gives you all this long stuff, which of course I don't want. So I come down to the bottom and I click add timestamps. And now they're all shortened. So you can click this little button in the corner to copy it, or if you forget, you can just copy it like this. What I do is I copy and I paste it into my description, and then I will go through and I will delete anything that doesn't go there. Because look, you got your introduction at 00, and then 4 seconds later, you got seamless editing. I might not want something that's 42 seconds later, and you can change all of your titles. It gives you a good idea where everything is, and it'll help you find that stuff quickly. And you copy that and paste that into your description as well, and you're ready to go. So that's what I do to get all of that stuff ready. Technically, you could put that in your description before you publish it to YouTube, which would be really time saving as well. Again, this channel is about helping small businesses take their business to the next level by identifying mistakes and loopholes and all kinds of things. This year, I'm going to be focusing on passive income streams that small local businesses could use to help grow their business. And this month, I'm focusing on books. Could a book add to the business that you have now? Like if you're a restaurant, absolutely. If you're a retail store, totally. There's so many things that you could do. Even if you are in the construction industry, like what kind of books would you want to give to your clients to help them keep track of things? I'm going to be talking about that in the next video that I make. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please hit the like button, let me know. And if you have questions, I love to answer them. Put those in the comments. That's the only way I really know how to answer your questions. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao.